Okay, so can you guys introduce yourselves first of all?
Sure. I'm Walter Martinez, and I'm an IT manager at California State University, Long Beach, and I'm also an instructor of robotics there.
And I am Bob Barboza from the Barboza Space Center in Long Beach, California.
Can you explain a little bit of what we're going to be seeing here today with the kids?
Sure. So I prepare a demo of how to build and program a small robot. And so hopefully to get the kids inspired in building things and learning about programming and electronics, to get them inspired for STEM fields, so science, technology, engineering, mathematics. But the whole idea is to see if they can get, transfer over to a college later on.
Um, how young are the kids that are going to be here? Do you know?
They're supposed to be high school kids for this particular demo.
I worked at a tech center over the summer, and we built robots with kids as young as 5. It's really interesting seeing them, how their minds work and how they want to progress. How do you hope that what they see today will inspire them?
Well, when you build something and then you see it actually move, physically move, then there's something inside you that says, I built something that actually becomes alive. And so when they see that, that's when I notice over my experience of doing this a lot, is that they became so inspired that eventually they'll want to continue building things and, helping humanity with the things that they do.
And I'm trying to inspire as many Hispanic boys and girls to get involved in STEM at this level because there's no failing at this level. And you have a wonderful introduction to the whole field. I'll be demonstrating a humanoid robot today that will talk and stand up and dance and do all kinds of things. So we're hoping that will light a fire under the kids.
In the movie Pacific Rim, all these robots are very much movie magic, but how much science goes into creating a robot similar to that?
Well, we have the ability right now to control robots with our mind if we wanted to, up to a certain point. So we're able to measure the different waves of our brain, for example, when our neurons start talking to each other, we can measure those levels of electricity. And so by doing that, you can build a database of all these different motions that you want, program it into a computer, and then eventually into a robot. So we're almost there, but it's not real time. It's not completely perfect yet.
What are some of the stuff that the kids are going to be using to learn robotics today?
Sure. So we have small robot kits that I designed, and they look like little cars. But if you think about it, in these little cars, they're autonomous. So in other words, they have a computer, and the computer thinks about things based on what it senses. And so it's basically the basics of all electronics and all devices, including the Tesla vehicle, including the Mars rover, for example. And so by using these kits, which are Arduino based, very basic English-like programming, they'll be able to successfully program a device that actually does what they want based on the programs they built.
Um, so, what inspired you guys to go into this field of robotics?
Sure. When I was a kid, I watched Star Wars back in the 70s, the very first Star Wars. So my mother took me to see the movie, and when I got out of that movie theater, I told my mom, "This is what I'm going to do with my life. I know exactly what I'm going to do." So I walked out of that theater, and I have not stopped since, nonstop every single day since I was a kid.
And what happened with me is when I was in high school, I was winning science fairs. And so I was doing lots of things with biology. And then I met Walter Martinez here, and he got me so excited about robots that the rest was history.
See, not just kids, adults too. We can get adults
right.
excited.
So he
about
got me
robots.
so excited about robots that I ended up creating the Barboza Space Center, and the first person I went for was to see if Walter could design for us. And he agreed, and he has a very, very exciting Mars rover that's coming to us this summer, and we're giving out fellowship programs to kids in the Long Beach Unified School District and right here to study robotics at a nice high level so they can transition to college.
For people who can't be here, what do you suggest? They start off trying to get practice with, so they could go be more excited about robotics.
Sure. It's actually a lot easier than it used to be. If they Google the word Arduino and robots, they'll find millions of examples and kits and videos and people that will show you step by step. And so just those two things, Arduino, robot, and you're set.
Yeah, I know for my nephews, we got them the Dash and the Dot, which are amazing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Are the kids here today going to get to code and learn how to do all that stuff?
Yes, yes. We only have like an hour and a half to do it, and so it was a big challenge for me. So a lot of the mechanical parts have already been pre-built, and so they're just gonna finish building, assembling, and then we're gonna get into the code right away. And then we're gonna do a competition, a sumo wrestling competition. So robots that think on their own, they're gonna fight each other in a little ring, and so that should give them an idea of how robots work, how you can change the code to do different things. And I hope to do that in an hour and a half, hopefully.
One thing that I'm trying to instill in my nephews is the fact that coding is extremely important no matter what job you're going to go into. Would you say that that's true for all future stuff that's going to happen?
Actually, I'm doing a study on how teaching to code from the very start will help people in the future communicate with human machine interfaces. So, in other words, you know your assistants, your personal Siri, Cortana, right? Hello,
Yeah.
Google, Alexa. Okay, all those things, if you don't ask the questions in a certain way, it won't understand what it means. But if you code, you'll understand the logic and the sequence of things. You'll be able to ask questions better.
So the future looks really, really bright because you have so many exciting tools that you have access to, and they're getting cheaper and cheaper. So there's no reason that you could be excluded. So robots are the future.
Do you guys recommend websites like code.org in order to start, learning the basics of code?
Yeah, so there's one called Scratch, and
Scratch.
Scratch is it's kind of like the Lego of programming. You grab little blocks and you put them in a sequence, and then it performs that sequence in a specific mode. And so that's a very basic. Just look for Scratch. It's free. You can download it. You can build video games with it, not just robots. You can actually do like Angry Birds or whatever. You can build all those little games with it.